Hi guys! Welcome! It is so good to be here with you guys, and it's absolutely fantastic to have you here with us as well. Oh, it's so good. What are you guys up to on this beautiful Saturday afternoon, evening? What are you doing? Are you chilling at home? Some of you maybe are working, you're studying, you're eating, you're flexing. What's going on? I would love to know what's happening with our audience, our viewers today. And also, what city or state are you watching us from? I would totally love to know that as well. And the medium you're using to watch us. Are you watching us live on TV? Or you maybe are watching us on YouTube or somewhere else on social media perhaps, most likely on YouTube. I would love to know where you're watching us from, the medium you're using to watch us, and what city, what you're doing whilst you're watching us. So head on over to X. My X handle is Ify Otuya. That's IFY OTUYA. And when you head on over to X, leave me a comment on there telling me what you're doing, what city you're watching us from, and what medium you're using to watch us, whether live or on social media or online. Fantastic. So yeah, welcome. The show is Mind Matters with Ify Otuya. We are the #1 mental health program on TV. We are new, but we are gaining traction as the case may be, and we already are the #1 mental health program on TV currently, rated by critics and viewers alike. So what gives us this clout to come out and be saying that we are the #1 mental health program on TV? Or why are people calling us the #1 mental health program on TV? Well, there's a number of reasons, but two main reasons stand out. And first of all, we create a safe space to have open conversations, relatable conversations about mental health. That's #1, you know. So we have everything that has to do with mental health. We come on this show and we talk about it. There's no holds barred, there's no taboo areas, no taboo subjects, nothing like that. Everything that has to do with mental health, we talk about that on the show. Some people say, oh yeah, we create a safe space to have mental health conversations. And when it's time to start having those conversations with them, they're like, oh no, don't talk about this, or you can't talk about that. We don't do anything like that on this show. It's like absolutely everything that has to do with mental health. If it has the tag mental health on it, then you know we've got you covered. You can talk about it, you can learn about it, you can grow in understanding about it on this show. The second reason we're #1 is because we promote a culture of mental health literacy. So one thing we're very big on the show is mental health literature. So literature such as stories, empowering stories of mental health recoveries, articles on mental health problems and solutions, mental health quotes, mental health reflections, things like that. You know, these material, we bring them onto the show and we chop them up on the show. So we want to encourage you. We hope that as you see us read mental health literature on the show, that you are encouraged to go home and emulate the same practice of reading mental health literature in your own spare time as well. Okay, so how cool is that? Mental health literature. Like, a lot of people don't understand that mental health is something that is learned. When you have good mental health, it's not by luck or magic. It's actually a result of you learning mental health material or reading mental health material. Good mental health is learned. Mental health on its own is learned. It's not by luck or magic. So reading mental health literature is a definite, highly recommended practice for you guys. Not just us, but you as well. And hopefully we can do it together and grow together. Actually, on the show today, later on, we're going to read a mental health literature on the show. It's a story about a guy called Adewale and his triumph over mental illness. So we're going to look at that. It's a story time that we will have on this show, live on the show. I'm looking forward to that for sure. Okay, so moving on to introducing myself. I'm your hostess with the mostess. My name is Ify Otuya. I'm a mental health advisor and educator. I'm also the founder of the platform ifyotuya.com. ifyotuya.com is an educational platform that provides practical guidance on mental health. So what sort of practical guidance are we talking about? We have resources, free resources on the website. The website is actually 3-in-1. It's a blog, a mega blog of 3 different blogs, including mental health. It's also a school, okay, that takes people through mental health training, teaches different mental health subjects and topics. And also it's a service-driven business. So that's what Ify Otuya is about. So you find resources on there, you find workshops and masterclasses on there, and you also find a mental health advisory service, which is a platform that we use to provide practical guidance to different people who have mental health challenges, to basically help them take the next step forward in the right direction in the form of advice. So it's an advisory, basically. Okay, cool. You can check that out in your spare time. I'm sure you'll find it very informative and helpful, especially considering that the resources on there are actually free. Okay. Moving on, our topic for the day. So a lot of you may have heard about this topic that we have today, and some of you may not have heard about it at all. Our topic for the day is actually called understanding anxiety and depression. That's our topic for the day. Understanding anxiety and depression. Okay? Understanding anxiety and depression. How many of you know about anxiety and depression? How many of you know precisely about anxiety and depression? I would love to know whether you're hearing about it for the first time, which is great. If we're the first people to actually bring this to your information, I feel privileged by that opportunity. But if you know about it before, you can head on over to X and just leave me a comment letting me know if this is the first time you're learning about it, or if you're conversant with it already. Understanding anxiety and depression. That's what we're going to look at today. We're going to look at some key points to understand when it comes to anxiety and depression, some kind of myths and misconceptions that are involved with the two topics of anxiety and depression, some symptoms that are also involved, and most importantly, coping methods or habits that people can use to actually overcome anxiety and depression. Okay, so let me quickly run you through our segments for the day. Like, we have some interesting things coming up that we're going to share with you today, and I'm going to quickly run you through the segments so you know what to expect from the show, right? So very soon I will announce the theme for the day and define the theme for the day. We have a theme for the day. Every episode we absolutely have a theme, and one of the reasons why you absolutely need to know what the theme is because the theme is tied to our giveaway. We run this giveaway where we give out free tickets to a mental health skills based masterclass, and the ticket is actually cost 69,000 naira, which is roughly 70,000 naira for the ticket, right, to the masterclass. But you will get that ticket absolutely free of charge because of this giveaway that we run on this show. But for you to be eligible for the giveaway, there's just one thing you need to do. One thing. Know the theme of the day and go and write it on X. Write it on my X handle, okay? So when I announce the theme of the day, you know what the theme of the day is. Then we'll look at key points to understand when it comes to anxiety and depression. Not just anxiety, but a double-decker, anxiety and depression. Then our phone lines will open later on after the first commercial break. The phone line is not open now, but in case you are interested in knowing what the number to call is, the number is 080-299-38365. That's 080-299-38365. Okay, so when the phone lines open, I would love for you to call in. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you think about what we're doing. I want to know what you think about the subject and the topic of the day, the theme of the day, etc., etc., etc. So after that, we're going to go through a story. We have this thing called stories in mental health on the website. It's a series of different stories on mental health conditions. So we have a story on depression there, have story on post-traumatic stress disorder, story on schizophrenia, we have stories on bipolar disorder, anxiety, etc., etc. So one of the stories, we're going to read that today so that we can grow in our understanding of anxiety and depression. It's going to be fun, I promise you. Then we'll discuss a problem and solution as highlighted in the story. That's like an analytical part of today that I am personally looking forward to. And hopefully you will call in and you can participate in the conversation and the analysis of the day. Then there will be a Q&A every now and then, or every episode as the case may be. We pick a question from our website, our social media, and we read that question on the show. So we're going to read the question and answer the question on the show today. Then there will be a masterclass giveaway segment where I'll talk you through how to participate in the masterclass giveaway. I've done a little bit about that already, but I'll do that some more. And then we'll come to the quote of the day and the 4 ways that we can help you. And then our closing remarks will round up for the day. So quickly, let's delve right into the agenda of the day. Our theme of the day is anxiety and depression. That's our theme. Anxiety and depression. Make sure you memorize that. Write it down. Cram it. Because to be eligible for a free ticket to the masterclass, you need to write the theme of the day back to me on social media, on X. That's Ify Otuya. Write it back to me. And you can even do it right now as you're watching, as we're talking. Who knows, you may be the lucky winner that I'll pick. I'm going to select people randomly for the free tickets to the masterclass. Yeah. So our theme of the day is anxiety and depression. Now, to define anxiety and depression are mental health conditions that change the way a person thinks, feels, and behaves, and also interferes with how they navigate everyday life. Okay? So these are mental health conditions that change the way a person thinks, feels, and behaves, and also interferes with how they navigate everyday life. We're talking about anxiety and depression. There are key points to understand when it comes to anxiety and depression. 1, anxiety and depression are the 2 most common mental health disorders in the world, and that's on period. What? On period. The 2 most common mental health disorders in the world. In certain parts of the world, anxiety is the most common, but in other parts of the world, you find that depression is, the top one. Say, for example, in the USA, anxiety is the most common mental health disorder in the US, and a lot of people struggle with anxiety day in, day out. But in Nigeria, on the other hand, depression is the foremost mental health disorder that people struggle with. Okay? So another key point to understand with anxiety and depression is that anxiety often shows up as excessive worry, fear, or tension. Excessive worry. You're just constantly worried about things. Sometimes you don't even know what you're worried about, but you're just excessively worried, and it goes on for a long time. You're not worried for 5 minutes and you stop. In the case of anxiety, it persists. It goes on and on and on, and it can lead to fear. It can lead to tension, muscle, even physical tension, muscle tension, choking around the neck, breathlessness. It impacts on a person's physical and mental health. Anxiety, it's that bad, okay? So it's a serious condition that is worthy of our attention. Now let's look at some characterizations of depression. A key point to understand is that symptoms of depression include hopelessness about the future, poor concentration, and disrupted sleep. Might I even add feelings of feeling suicidal, wanting to take one's life as a result of depression. That's another characteristic of depression. Hopelessness about the future. It makes sense when someone is actually feeling very hopeless about the future. They have no reason to want to wake up tomorrow or to do life today. They just start asking themselves, why am I here? And before you know anything, they're thinking of killing themselves. They also have poor concentration. They can't stick to any program or agenda. It's just too much for them. They don't have the energy. They're lethargic. They don't have the energy to commit. So that's a key characterization of depression, okay? Hopelessness about the future, poor concentration, and disrupted sleep. Now, positive anxiety is healthy and differs from the condition which persists for days or longer, distresses, and affects day-to-day life. Hold up, what's that saying? Positive anxiety is healthy. What is positive anxiety? If there's positive anxiety, does that mean there's negative anxiety? Absolutely correct. There's positive anxiety on one hand, and there's negative anxiety or bad anxiety on the other hand, which is the condition. Now, positive anxiety is just a feeling. It's a human feeling. It's part of the human experience. Everybody feels anxious from time to time. As a matter of fact, it's a survival asset. It's your brain's way of warning you of impending danger. Say, for example, you have exams or coursework and you haven't studied, you haven't prepared for your exam or to submit your coursework, and it's like 2 days before the exam, you start getting anxious about that exam because you know you're not ready for it, you're not prepared. So the danger in this situation is you failing that exam, and your body, your brain, your mind is, sort of alerting you to that situation, letting you know that, hey, there's danger ahead, we are not ready for that exam and we might fail. So it's healthy for you to have positive anxiety that keeps you alert, that helps you to excel in life, to helps you to survive, to stay ahead of the curve. But bad anxiety is when it persists for long. It can persist for days or even longer. Like you're just so anxious. You're in a heightened, constant state of anxiety. It's really not healthy. It also distresses you. You're distressed. You're not just feeling anxious about something, but you're distressed about it to the point that you just can't carry out your normal activities. And then it prevents you from carrying out your normal activities as well, your day-to-day activities. This is how you know that you are dealing with the bad anxiety, the condition of anxiety, not the feeling, the human feeling of anxiety. Okay, so I'll take that again. Positive anxiety is healthy and differs from the condition which persists for days or longer, distresses and affects day-to-day life. Now, another key point to understand when it comes to anxiety and depression is that many people have certain misconceptions about depression and anxiety, right? But something that's prevalent with depression is that people think depression is just a lack of willpower and that it affects only a certain kind of people. Some people have that misconception. It's very prevalent about depression. They feel it affects only a certain kind of people and it's just a lack of willpower. You should be able to snap out of it. It's not true. If people could just snap out of it, they would snap out of it. People won't be struggling for months, sometimes even years with depression, just a situation that they can just snap out of, and they're actually struggling. They have good intentions, they're trying to improve themselves, but maybe they lack the right skills and the right tools, and they constantly struggle and they stay in that rut. You can't just tell that person that you should be able to snap out of it because they're dealing with an ailment. If you're struggling with typhoid, do someone say you should be able to snap out of it? No one says that, because that's not factual, it's not accurate. So that's a misconception people have, and it's actually harmful because it prevents people from seeking help. Sometimes when people internalize that problem and they blame themselves for that problem, they say is my lack of willpower, is a certain kind of people, example myself. They attribute the blame to themselves and feel like the consequences should be carried by themselves. So it prevents them from looking outwards and trying to access help that is available out there. So that's really harmful belief. And another thing to note is that anxiety and sadness are okay until they keep you from performing your normal activities. Sometimes you're sad about things in the world. It's okay. Like you hear about kidnapping, for example, or the price of fuel, and you're just sad about the state of society, about how people are struggling and people are suffering. It shows that you're human. You can identify with other organisms on earth. You can identify with other people. You can identify with people in society. You're not a sociopath. You're not emotionally closed. You are empathetic. You have emotional intelligence, at least to some extent. So these anxiety and depression or sadness help you to build that emotional intelligence, that human factor, but and it's okay to have a bit of that, a good dose of that. But when it starts preventing you from performing your normal activities, you can't wake up in the morning and clean up after yourself. You can't cook a good meal because you'd rather just stay in bed and feel sad. You're not showing up at school in your classes because you rather be in bed and be sad. You rather stay at home. Your presentation at work, you're not even showing up at the office because you'd rather not go out and do anything. That is a problem when it comes to that type of situation. And finally, a key point to note is that many people struggle silently because of lack of awareness and understanding. Okay, a lot of people struggle silently because of that. So don't go away. We're going to go on a quick break now. When we come back from our break, we'll take our story and open our phone lines for you. See you soon. Hey, welcome back, guys. Welcome back to Mind Matters with Ify Otuya. We're still the #1 mental health program on TV, and we're here for you. Okay, so our phone lines are now open. You can call us. The number to call is 080-299-38365. Okay, call us. I'd love to talk to you. Whatever it is you want to talk about that's mental health related, maybe a recovery testimony you want to share with us, or a question you have that you want to have us answer or have me answer. I would love to answer your question. Okay, so that's that. Our phone line is now officially open. Now, moving on to our story for the day, and never mind, even whilst I'm reading the story, you can call if you do want to call. I will halt the story and answer your question. So our story is titled Adewale's Triumph, Journey Through Anxiety and Depression. It's a fantastic story about mental health, and it looks at how anxiety and depression can be addressed by using art therapy. So here the story goes. The story is by Ify Otuya. In the bustling city of Lagos, Nigeria, amid the vibrant tapestry of life, there lived a young artist named Adewale. He had a soul as colorful as his paintings, but behind his radiant smile lay a hidden pain. Adewale had been grappling with severe anxiety and depression, a burden that seemed to grow heavier with each passing day. In the heart of Lagos, there was a compassionate art therapist named Dr. Amina. She had dedicated her life to the healing power of art, believing that creativity could mend even the most shattered souls. When she learned about Adewale's struggles, she knew she had to reach out to him. One fateful morning, Dr. Amina found Adewale sitting alone in a quaint cafe, his eyes filled with a storm of emotions. She approached him with a warm smile, introducing herself as an art therapist who believed in the transformative power of art. Now, intrigued by her gentle demeanor, Adewale decided to give art therapy a chance. How fascinating! He had created art so many times before, but this time he would be creating art under the guise of her voice in therapy. Dr. Amina provided him with a blank canvas and an assortment of colors, encouraging him to express his feelings through art. At first, Adewale hesitated, unsure of how to convey the turmoil within him. That's understandable. Everybody who goes through anxiety and depression and the overwhelming feelings of anxiety and depression, they experience that. They're like unsure at first. But with Dr. Amina's patient guidance, Adewale dipped his brush into the paint and allowed his emotions to flow onto the canvas. Each stroke became a release, and the colors danced to the rhythm of his heart as he listened to Dr. Amina's voice and talked back in open conversation. Dr. Amina watched as he poured his soul into the artwork, feeling an unspoken connection with every brush stroke. As days turned into weeks, Adewale's art became a window into his inner world. The canvas became a sanctuary where he could speak with words and hone his unspeakable thoughts. A place where his emotions found solace and understanding as his spirit grew lighter. The transformation was profound. With each piece of art, he unraveled the knots that had bound his spirit. One day, while Adewale was painting, he met another character who would play a pivotal role in his healing journey. An elderly street musician named Babajide. Now, Babajide had a guitar that sang with the wisdom of ages. He saw Adewale's pain reflected in his art and offered to accompany it with his melodies. How beautiful. As the notes of the guitar and the hues of the paintings intertwined, a powerful symphony of healing resonated through the streets of Lagos. Passers-by stopped in awe, touched by the raw emotions emanating from Adewale's art and Babajide's music. The city became a canvas of compassion with empathy flowing freely among its people. Adewale's art began to gain recognition, and an art exhibition was organized to showcase his masterpieces. The event became a celebration of resilience and hope, drawing crowds from all walks of life. Many who had their own battles with mental health found comfort in Adewale's artwork, realizing they were not alone. As the exhibition came to an end, Adewale stood amidst his painting, feeling a newfound strength in his heart. He knew that he would continue his journey of healing, and he owed it all to the transformative power of art and the unwavering support of Dr. Amina and Babajide. In the end, this powerful story reminds us that the human spirit is resilient and can bloom even in the darkest of times. It speaks of the magic that happens when compassion, art, and music intertwine, creating a sweet symphony of healing that echoes far beyond the canvas and the strings of a guitar. Now, I have a question for you in here. The question is, in the real world, does art have such a powerful potential in mental health healing? Because some of you are wondering, in the real world, does it really work like this? And the answer to this is here. Yes, art indeed has a powerful potential in mental health healing. Art therapy is a recognized form of psychotherapy and utilizes creative processes like painting, drawing, sculpting, music, and other artistic expressions to help individuals explore and understand their emotions, thoughts, and experiences. It can be a valuable therapeutic tool for people dealing with various mental health conditions. So it can help in the area of emotional expression, self-awareness, stress reduction, coping skills, self-esteem boost, communication and socialization, distraction and focus, and also empowerment. Okay, so this is our story for today. It's important to note that mental health challenges are more common than many people realize. But that doesn't make you weak, and it doesn't mean that you're broken. It just means that you're a human. You're experiencing things that humans were created to experience. Okay? Even though it's a condition, it's an illness. Humans were created to experience anxiety, depression, but sometimes they can spiral out of control. And that's when you are required to nip them in the bud, seek professional help, use mental health skills, externalize the internal. Now, we saw from this story that art therapy was so useful for helping Adewale to externalize the internal problems that he was carrying. The story said, and I read here, the story said about his anxiety and depression that it was a burden that seemed to grow heavier with each passing day. And some people are experiencing depression and anxiety like that. It seems like a burden that seems to grow heavier with each passing day. But there's help available. There are different things you can do. There are different options that are available to you. So in this story, we see that therapy worked really well for Adewale, specifically art therapy. Now let's discuss the problem and solution as highlighted in this story. Now the problem was Adewale's overwhelm. You know, a lot of people who are experiencing anxiety and depression, they have that overwhelming feeling like they don't have capacity to do anymore. It's like, I can't wake up, I can't do it, I can't try, I can't. And it's understandable because emotionally, psychologically, they just feel so spent. Mentally, they feel exhausted. But if you find that you are dealing with anxiety and depression, and you can manage, it's not overwhelming enough to the point that you cannot cope. Okay, you can manage your situation. You can use mental health skills to actually manage your situation. Coping habits, healthy coping habits. So there are different mental health skills, and it doesn't cost you money to learn a mental health skill to use to manage your situation. You can go on Google and you can Google mental health skills. They are very, very effective. They're not only great at preventing mental illness, but they are good at, or excellent at helping you manage already existing mental illnesses. Okay, this is mental health skills. So you can use mental health skills to manage your situation. But if you're at that point where it's so overwhelming that you can't do it alone, then seek professional help. Seek a mental health professional's guidance. You can seek even mental health advisors. They're out there. There are so many different kinds of help that are available to you out there. Okay, so we see that at Dewale's situation, a mental health professional came into the picture, Dr. Amina, and she used therapy to help get him out of those overwhelming feelings. And the art was used as a catharsis to release his emotions, his thoughts, his overwhelming stress, to release all of that stress. And scientifically, that's something that it makes a lot of sense. It's backed scientifically that art or even journaling can help us to release pent-up emotions and pent-up thoughts that are controlling your mind and controlling your head. You can release them. If you journal, for example, you put things in perspective, you see things, okay, you have a vantage position over the thing that is in front of you, and you can analyze it, you can evaluate it, you can assess it, rather than it being in your head. It's difficult for you to actually see and understand, but when it's in front of you, you can see it in a healthier and clearer manner, and you can have control and exert management over these thoughts and emotions. Okay, so that's fantastic. Our phone line is still open and would absolutely love to hear from you. Now, really quickly, before we're going to take a quick break, okay? We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back from this quick break, I'll be sharing my personal experience with you, my personal experience with paranoid schizophrenia, a condition that I live with. So we're talking about anxiety and depression, and some of you are like, I'm experiencing this, I'm feeling like that, I'm this, I'm that. It's okay, you're not alone. I live with the condition of paranoid schizophrenia, and I'll be telling you from the beginning to the end of my story how I struggled for 7 years with this condition till I got to the point where I learned useful practical skills and tools that pulled me out of that hole and helped me to overcome paranoid schizophrenia. So don't go away. Let's take a quick break now. Hey, welcome back, guys. It's still Mind Matters with Ify Otuya. So we've just come back from our commercial break. I'm going to share my story, my personal struggle with paranoid schizophrenia with you. So my story began in 2009. I just relocated from the UK to Nigeria, where I'd been living and studying and working, to Nigeria to launch my music career. So at the time that I came back to Nigeria, there was a lot of buzz on the Nigerian scene. There were so many artists, new artists, young artists. Everybody was trying to blow, you know. So I was one of them. I was constantly performing at so many gigs, so many shows. I was granting interviews. I was here and there. People knew about me. I was garnering fans and, you know, accolades along the way. Things were going great, but as time went on, it became clear to me that a lot of people wanted me to come and perform at shows for free, under the guise of just use it to promote yourself. They were not actually intending to pay me to perform at those shows. So I was spending money on clothes, for example, spending money on makeup, spending money on transportation, but I wasn't making that money back. Now, anybody knows that any business that you're doing where that is the case, like it doesn't make sense. You know, like your bottom line is affected. It doesn't make business sense at all to say you're running a business and that's how you're running your business, that you're constantly pouring money into it, but you're not getting recompense for that financially. So as things will have it, I became quite withdrawn. I became disillusioned about my dreams, about the industry, about music. I started staying by myself, staying by myself in my room for hours. I wouldn't come out. Then for days, I wouldn't come out from my room. I wouldn't talk to any family member. I would just be inside there, lock myself. I became depressed, as the case may be. So I carried on like this for quite a while, and then I left the country and went back to the UK, and then came back again, you know, after 3 years or so. So in 2000, this issue was not really addressed. Like, I didn't see a therapist, I didn't see a mental health advisor, I didn't thrash it with family members or friends. We didn't sit down and talk about how I was feeling and how that was impacting on my mental health. In 2015, by then my symptoms became quite heightened and I was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. Now, when I heard of paranoid schizophrenia, I was so shocked and taken aback. I was like, me of all people, how can I have paranoid schizophrenia? I'm the last person on earth to have a disease called paranoid schizophrenia. What does this doctor even know that they're talking about? You know, that kind of mentality, that kind of response. I was just like a vivacious, go-getting person. It didn't seem to me like I was the least candidate even for paranoid schizophrenia, you know. I was nowhere. I was not supposed to be anywhere on that list at all. So since I decided that there was nothing wrong with me, the medication that was prescribed to me, the treatments that was prescribed for me, I didn't comply with any of those because I felt that I was okay. And because I was struggling to grapple with this new reality for myself, struggling to accept that I indeed had paranoid schizophrenia, I would relapse again and again and again, go in and out of hospital, coming out of hospital, because I just refused to accept that I was ill and I was refusing to take the treatment. So I was struggling badly. So it reached my turning point after 7 years of struggle, where I was sick and tired of relapsing again and again, or being taken to the psychiatric hospital against my will. And I didn't like the trajectory at which my life had taken. I badly wanted to see a change. You know, I wanted a situation for myself where anybody would write a story of my life, including myself, and it wouldn't be about paranoid schizophrenia again and again and again. I wanted to write bright, beautiful things about myself. You know, I felt that I deserved that much out of life. And so I took a conscious decision to embrace the illness. I embraced the diagnosis, I embraced treatment, and then I began to empower myself. I wanted to empower myself by writing articles, researching mental health, writing stories on mental health, writing about mental health problems and mental health solutions and how to overcome different mental health conditions. And that was something that was so empowering for me, because my mindset, it was like I seized my mindset and changed it drastically. But I didn't stop there. I began to write for other people as well, and that was how I launched my website, ifyotuya.com, which is like a mega blog today, and people read different kinds of mental health resources on the website. So that's in a nutshell is my story. That's my journey, my 7-year journey through paranoid schizophrenia and triumph, and how I arrived at the place that I am today, helping people through their mental health challenges. No matter the mental health challenge that you have, okay, you deserve to be in control of your mental health. You deserve help. You deserve to seek help. You deserve to find help, and you deserve to receive help. Accept help when help is given to you. So no matter how dark it may seem, there's light at the end of the tunnel. If you're feeling very, very weak right now, you're feeling very tired, you're feeling exhausted, maybe in 5 minutes time, maybe in 10 minutes time, maybe tomorrow you'll feel different. Just keep hope alive and do the things that you're meant to do. Seek help. Reach out to loved ones. Talk to somebody. Don't try and carry it all by yourself. That's a no go. Try and talk to a loved one, family members, friends, a trusted person, most especially a trusted person that you feel safe, that will not judge you. Or you reach out to a mental health professional. There's so many different kinds of professionals out there. Okay? So that's my story in a nutshell. And yeah, that's the encouraging insight that I have for you. It's not the end. It's definitely not the end. It gets brighter with each passing day or each new day. Okay, now, so from time to time, we scour our website and social media for questions that viewers leave for us. And one of the questions that was left on the website is, how can I support someone with anxiety or depression? Now, you know, that's a really, really good question, and I'm going to answer it really quickly, okay? How can I support someone with anxiety or depression? You listen to them without judgment. Just be there for them without judgment. Listen to them, help them, support them. Let them know that help is available to them. If they can't do it on their own and they're feeling so overwhelmed, be part of the process of helping them to get a mental health professional. You can seek a therapist, you can seek a psychiatrist, you can seek a psychologist, you can seek a mental health advisor's help. There's peer support networks, there's support groups. There's so many different kinds of professionals, first responders even, that are out there that you can get help from, okay? You can help them through the process. Listen to them without judgment. Be strong for them, and understand that mental health journey is not a linear journey. It's full of ups and downs. So some days they may feel strong and like they can actually go out there and do things, or they may feel like they have a burst of energy, they can accomplish tasks, they can go out there and do things. But some other days they don't feel like they're actually up to it. And so it's left for you to be there to understand that that's what they're dealing with, and to be strong for them. And on the days that they're feeling low, maybe after that they will feel inspired, looking back and seeing that this person is actually being strong for me, and they will draw strength from that strength that you extended to them. So just be there for them without judgment and support them. That's how you can help somebody or with anxiety or depression. You can support them by being there for them without judgment. Okay, so we are progressing quite nicely today. What we're going to do now is we are going to go on our last commercial break. And when we come back from this commercial break, I still haven't received any calls from you guys yet. If you're struggling to call us, please try a little harder. Maybe the phone network was messed up or something, and this time around it will actually open and give way. Please try and call us. I would love to hear a recovery testimony or any question that you have. I would love to answer that question. When we come back from our commercial break, we're going to talk about the Masterclass Giveaway. Then we're also going to look at our quote of the day. We'll read the quote of the day and analyze it a little bit. And we'll go into 4 ways that we can help. And we normally do help people with mental health challenges on this show. And then finally, we will close. So we're looking forward to that. Don't go away. Let's have a quick commercial break now. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. It's totally awesome to be here with you guys. I'm having the best time of my life. Just chilling here with you guys and talking about anxiety and depression. So we've talked about quite a lot of things today when it comes to anxiety and depression. And there are three main things that I would like us to highlight, as key takeaways from today's discussion on anxiety and depression. And the first thing of all of that is that there is good and bad anxiety and depression. Okay, there's positive and negative types of anxiety and depression. The positive kind is the kind you experience as part of being human, a human being, as part of being an empathetic person. And as part of as a survival asset, anxiety is a survival asset. You experience anxiety, your brain is trying to highlight you to impending danger, and you're a human being. That's why you have a brain that is able to alert you to impending danger. It also makes you an empathetic person because you're able to identify with other human beings, their struggles, their experiences, and even their challenges, like the impending dangers that other people experience as well, not just your own. So it's part of the human experience. Is what makes us emotionally intelligent human beings and emotionally responsive people. So there's good and bad anxiety. So that's good anxiety. But it's bad when it becomes a condition, not just a feeling or like a passing challenge, but an actual condition where it lasts for days or longer. It distresses us and it prevents us from carrying out our day-to-day activities. So that's one main thing to take away. One key takeaway is that anxiety and depression have positive and negative types. Then another key takeaway is that art therapy is actually a very potent form of addressing or means of addressing and managing anxiety and depression. Art therapy, when you're feeling overwhelmed, art therapy can help you release your pent-up emotions, your pent-up thoughts, and just put those in perspective where you're able to look at them, assess them, exert control over them, and manage them. Okay, rather than them managing you by being in your head, stuck in your head, and you're replaying that again and again, and you're feeling exhausted by all these mental activities. So that's another key takeaway. Art therapy is very good at helping us release pent-up overwhelming anxiety and depression or sadness feelings. And then thirdly, there are so many different kinds of options that are available to us when we have anxiety or depression, or even both anxiety and depression, as we saw in the case of Adewale today. He had both anxiety and depression. So if that's you, there are so many different options that are available. If it's not so overwhelming that you can manage it yourself, I recommend learning mental health skills. These are also sometimes called coping skills, healthy coping skills, not unhealthy coping skills like smoke and substance use, or seeking validation from others because of how anxious you feel. Those are unhealthy. Healthy coping skills help you to address the root cause of your anxiety, to evaluate how you're feeling and how you're thinking, and to still be able to validate yourself, in spite or alongside or regardless of those thoughts and those feelings. So healthy coping skills, for example, like emotional regulation. You can look at your emotions. You can say, of a truth, I am feeling angry because of XYZ, but because I'm feeling angry is not the end of the world, or does not make me a bad person. I'm a human. It's a human response to this kind of situation, or this kind of stimuli, or this kind of trigger, and it doesn't change who I am. I'm still a good person. I'm still somebody who wants to do good and be good. And so you validate yourself in the face of that feeling or that emotion that you're experiencing. The same applies to thoughts as well. So there's emotional regulation, stress management, positive thinking, resilience building. The list goes on and on. These are different kinds of mental health skills that can help you through your challenges. Okay, now the Masterclass Giveaway To be eligible for the Masterclass giveaway, don't forget, go on X and write the theme of the day. We're not going to show you the theme of the day again because we want you to know that you've been paying attention today. So go on X and write the theme of the day, and who knows, you may be the lucky winner. Now, our quote of the day is, turning points aren't just moments. They are decisions that echo through the corridors of your destiny. Turning points aren't just moments. They are decisions that echo through the corridors of your destiny. And when you think of turning points, a turning point, I remember when I had my own turning point, I made a decision to alter the course of my destiny by embracing my illness. It's not the end of the world because I have an illness. I chose to embrace the illness, but not to stop there, to do something about it, okay? That's positive thinking. That's a positive kind of response. And that's the kind of response we want to see from people who are watching our show. So you make a decision that echoes through the corridors of your destiny, a decision that alters the rest of your life in a positive and empowering way. Now, let me speak to you really quickly about something, okay? As many of you know, we live in a fast-paced, technologically advancing world where there are so many demands on people in the workplace. A lot of busy professionals and young adults who are trying to navigate life are facing a lot of pressure. And so mental health challenges are rampant. People are experiencing mental health challenges, but not just experiencing them. They, in fact, are at an all-time high. There is no other time in modern history that mental health challenges have been at the heights that they are than now. They're at an all-time high. And as if that wasn't bad enough, people are stuck with their mental health challenges. A lot of people have good intentions. They want to improve their mental health, but they just lack the tools and the skills to help them overcome those challenges. So they stay stuck. They relapse again and again and again. They're stuck in a rut. It's frustrating. It's debilitating. It's angering. It's overwhelming. It's exhausting. It's so bad. Now, no matter who you are, whatever your background is, the truth is you deserve to be in control of your mental health. I know what it's like to be stuck in a rut with your mental health challenges, because for 7 years, I personally struggled with paranoid schizophrenia, like I said earlier. But I don't struggle anymore. And why? What happened in my own situation? Mental health skills. This is why I recommend mental health skills to people. You can start free learning mental health skills. You don't have to pay to start learning mental health skills unless you want to scale your learning, okay? Or you want to scale your application. Mental health skills, is it that when you start using mental health skills, you're not going to experience any mental health challenge anymore? That's not the case, okay? And I never said that's the case. But what happens is you begin to address your challenges with ease and grace. No more strife and frustration. No more stuck in a rut. Stuck. You begin to address your challenges with ease and grace, and there are transformational outcomes that wait for you. So you overcome your mental health challenges because you are using mental health skills. You bring your mental health skills from an all-time high to an all-time low, and you'll be able to live better and have a happier life. Who doesn't want this kind of transformational outcomes? So learn mental health skills. They're very, 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 very transformational and life-changing. They save lives. Now, if you need help with learning mental health skills, okay, or you have mental health challenges in general and you just want to know what kind of support or help is available for you, it may be anxiety, depression, or something else, there are 4 ways we can help you, and we'll have that shown on your screen right now. You can see it. 4 ways we can help you. We have free resources, okay? There are resources that include stories, articles, reflections, mental health quotes, healthy, mind-altering, resilience-building information that you can meditate on, you can read, you can ruminate on, that will change your life. These are free resources absolutely available to you. Then we have the masterclass. Our flagship masterclass is called Learn the Mental Health Skills You Need. And then we have the workshop, and finally we have the mental health advisory service. So that's how we can help you. We've come to a close, guys. You can check us out on social media. The handle is Ify Otuya. I'm on X, I'm on YouTube, I'm also on other platforms. But once you find me on X, through my bio, you'll be able to find me on all the other platforms. So until next time, guys, let's talk openly about mental health. Bye-bye.